she has forever changed Irish women's the basketball program as an All-American point guard and helped lead Notre Dame to its first national championship in 2001. But one of the stats that I love the most is that she is the common theme to all 9 of the program's final 4 appearances. Think about that. 2 as a player and 7 as an assistant coach under Muffet McGraw. And she's just getting started. Welcome, Niele Ivey.
Hello, everyone. Dally, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. I did walk up to her and I said, look at you, right? You look like you could be playing basketball. You look like, one of the students, and you're a grandma.
I am
right?
a grandma.
Tell them about being a grandma.
Yeah, I'm a grandma to 2. So I have a 9-month-old granddaughter, and I have a year and a half old grandson. So they keep me busy as well. So the team, and then following Jaden, and then being a grandma. So it's a lot of fun. I'm a Mimi, not a grandma.
A Mimi.
A Mimi.
Did you pick that?
I picked that because I have a dog named Gigi, so I didn't want to be called Gigi. So Mimi is it was the next best thing.
It's perfect. I love it. Not Nini.
Not Nini. Mimi.
So, first of all, thanks for joining us with 1 win under your belt.
Yes.
How was that?
It was fun. We played Mercyhurst on Monday. It was a great environment, a lot of buzz in South Bend, but also just across the country with women's basketball. So we were really excited to finally play someone else because we're practicing against a really great practice squad. They're all males, so it was nice playing against females. So that was a lot of fun. But the girls played well. Scored like 101 points or something like that. We have a lot of talent. We have a really incredible roster. So it was exciting to be in front of our fans.
I want to talk about that roster, right? We can talk about last year, but I want to look forward, right? So looking forward based upon last year's season, I think was it 28-7?
I think so, yes.
What did you learn and what will change this year with the roster that you have?
Yeah, well, I'm really grateful for the roster that we have. We have a lot of depth. We're currently going through a couple of injuries, so we're turning a couple players back to the court, but a lot of experience. I added a 6'5" post player and a freshman named Kate Koval, so I added a lot of height, which is something that we've needed for the past couple of years. I've added 2 transfers, power forwards, Liza Carlin and Leah Tu King, and they've been incredible additions, a lot of experience, both of them 5th-year seniors, and I think that's just been incredible. And then Kassan Prosper, who was part of the Canadian Olympic team, is coming back, returning to play, so she's been playing for us, and Emma Risch, a shooter from Florida, is back, and Olivia Miles. I think the biggest name everybody knows is Olivia Miles, our point guard. She's back as well, coming back from an ACL. So returning such incredible talent, having the opportunity to have a little bit deeper of a roster has been really helpful. I learned a lot last year. You have to pivot and adjust with what comes. Unfortunately, we ended the season with some injuries, but this year just trying to be able to get stronger, healthy, and utilize our experience and our depth.
I'm really, really excited about the season. And so you made mention of transfers, and when we think about what's going on in the transfer portal, and sometimes people cringe at it, and sometimes people take advantage of it. You're taking advantage of it. How?
Yes, I am. We have, I try to look at the roster, what I have, and try to use the transfer portal to try to fill those positions where I think we need. And the portal's been awesome for us as far as bringing in high-level talent. I brought in Maya Dotson my 2nd year, and she was an incredible leader that really helped transform the program. Some of these transfers, they do a great job of making an immediate impact and making a really strong impact on our culture and the program. And Anna DeWolf, another transfer from Fordham that came in and made an incredible impact on our program. So I try to identify the right talent and try to utilize the transfer portal in a way that I think could help us improve.
I can't help but think when it comes up, the whole idea of the transfer portal, that oftentimes you have young women that might have 1, 2, 3, 4 years of experience, and they've got maybe a little bit of time left, and they now are making a totally different choice than they might have made 4 years previously. And I think the idea of getting to play for you and with a team and be at Notre Dame is really strong. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we have, Anna DeWolf, I think she probably would have wanted to be recruited by Notre Dame, so still having that opportunity to be a part of such an incredible university, I think is really attractive for a transfer portal. Because not only do you become a part of a great program, but you also get that opportunity to be a part of an incredible network and, to get your master's degree here at Notre Dame, or, so obviously some type of academic opportunity. So I think we have so much to offer when we get a chance to recruit in the portal because we have the best of both worlds here.
Regardless of where you're recruiting from, you are thought to be one of the best recruiters. And I remember a few years back, I had the great privilege of joining you in some of the meetings where I had a chance to talk to the parents about what are you signing your daughters up for, and why Notre Dame over any other place. Easy, it's an easy place. You guys are all incredible out there. You make it so easy to brag about Notre Dame. What else makes you such a strong recruiter?
Well, I appreciate it. I think just being a player's coach and then also having the opportunity to play here, and be a part of Notre Dame. So I understand what it takes as far as I've walked in their shoes. I can relate to the players, and I try to utilize my ability to connect when I'm recruiting. And fortunately, I've been on the other side too. So I've been recruited with my son in college. So I've saw things that I thought really resonated for me as a mom. And so I try to use those things and those tactics when I recruit. But I think just being a genuine, open person. I'm a person that I really enjoy relationships, and I try to build those relationships through the process. And I think that's what these young women need. They want to be developed, but they also want to have a relationship with their coaches. And I think that's one of my strengths. And I try to, I feel like I'm bubbly, maybe not in practice, but understanding that it's a lot of work, and so you want to connect with them in a way where they feel comfortable. And so I try to use my personality and my ability to connect when I'm recruiting with them.
And it seems to be going really, really well.
I'm trying.
I still have eligibility.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, just in case.
Let's talk offline.
Yeah.
I could use you actually on Sunday. So.
I'm sorry. So let's talk about the culture of the team. And in particular, you talked about your other coaches. Give us a little snapshot into what the other coaches are like.
On our staff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm fortunate that I have two former players in Sherelle Allen and Michaela Mabry. So my first year back as assistant, Sherelle was a senior. And then I was a part of the coaching staff that was helping to recruit Michaela here, the Mabry family. We've had the opportunity to have three of those young women to go through our program. And then Carol Owens was a recruiting coordinator and was part of the staff that helped recruit me when I came here in '96. So a lot of just Notre Dame family that's a part of the staff. And I'm really fortunate to have people that are loyal, people that understand the makeup of Notre Dame and what it takes to be successful here. And then I added a player development coach in Carlos Knox, who's been tremendous, been such a great impact on our program because he has the WNBA and NBA experience. And I think that our team has done a really great job of improving just fundamentally because of Carlos. He brings a wisdom and expertise when it comes to player development. So I'm really fortunate to work not just with them being my under me and my staff, but like my friends. We're really close. We're a really close-knit family, and it's fun when you get a chance to work with people that you love.
And it's fun to watch the team because you can see that play itself out. They like each other.
They do. They do.
Yeah, and it seems like not just on the court, but off the court as you watch them on campus.
Absolutely. I think that's a big part of our culture. Is one of my biggest core values with this, our program is love. Obviously it's accountability, trust, respect, and all those things, and being competitive, but love is number one. And so I'm always trying to find ways in order for them to bond and create that bond off the court, and having opportunities like last year going to Paris, foreign tours, and I have them over for dinner a lot, and just spending that extra time is a direct correlation to their success on the court. So building that chemistry and having that love and love for each other definitely is something that you see off the court and also on the court.
The Paris trip was incredible.
Yes, that was fun.
I loved that. Okay, so you are really quickly becoming one of the icons of women's basketball coaching. You kind of look surprised that I'm saying that.
Yeah, that's
right?
a big compliment. There's a lot of great coaches out there.
There are.
Thank you.
But so many young women look up to you for what you've done, and for your leadership, right? What does that look like for you? Tell me a little bit about your leadership style.
Yeah, obviously heavily influenced by Coach McGraw. I watched it from somebody that has done it so well, Hall of Fame coach. And so I had that experience, and I try to be a sponge with some of my mentors. You know, I have Kevin McGuff at Ohio State, Coquise at Penn State. So I was fortunate to be coached by incredible coaches and strong women, strong coaches. And that really played into my leadership style, what things that I've learned and how they shaped me as a person and as a coach. And then just being in this role, I understand the magnitude of it. And so I don't take it for granted. I try to utilize my experiences and share those with the team and the people that I come in contact with, because I know how important that was for me in my development. And so I just try to be that for our players. I mean, my mission is to love, to serve, to mentor. So serving in this capacity as a head coach is something that I love to do. It's my passion. I'm just so grateful that I know what my purpose is, and it's being in the seat, and I'm really grateful for that, because basketball has changed my life. It's opened so many doors for me, and this is my way of giving back to the game that has given so much to me.
That's a great answer. So with a combined 20 years on campus, which is hard for me to wrap my head around, this is really your home under the dome, right? This is home for you.
Yes.
You grew up in St. Louis,
Yes.
But you've spent a lot of time here. And what do you think makes Notre Dame so special?
Whew, I mean, look at this.
I know.
I mean, just the family, and some are either you graduated from Notre Dame or you didn't graduate from Notre Dame. You're a Subway Notre Dame fan, and this place is just special. It's very unique, and when I stepped on campus on my official visit, it was a USC football weekend. I felt it. So I felt that love. I felt that connection. And, yeah, I mean, just obviously it's the best. You have the best professors. You have the best facilities. You have the best academics, but also it's about the people. And I think that's what makes Notre Dame so special, is the people that support this university and that are part of this university. They're just some of the best people in the world. So I think that's what makes this place so special.
And great, and I agree, because clearly that's my job. I always say I have the best job at Notre Dame, because I don't have to worry about wins and losses.
Oh,
right?
yeah, yes,
like,
yes.
Like, as a coach.
Yeah, you don't.
I know you have
a great
really,
job over there.
Yeah, it's really a lot of fun. Okay, so you had a unique opportunity, maybe the first time where the tables were turned and you became a fan as you traveled with the football team.
Oh, yes, yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so we were playing Georgia Tech, and so I got a chance to be on that manifest and went to the game and got a chance to, was with Pete and Mickey Kidder. There was an alumni event that Friday evening. They were playing at the Falcons Stadium in Atlanta, and I got a chance to kind of see how the football team traveled and learned a lot. And just, again, like you mentioned, just being a fan and supporting them, something I've never done before. So that was a great experience.
So Muffet is a great mentor of yours. Who else mentors you? Who else do you talk to, and who do you look up to?
Yeah, there's a couple NBA coaches that I've got a chance to learn from in past couple years. Obviously, I worked with the Memphis Grizzlies, so made some connections there, and I'm being mentored by them. But Coach McGraw is my biggest one, and then I would say again, Coquise Washington is somebody that I had on staff for 2 years before she took over the Rutgers program, and Kevin McGuff. So a lot of coaches that were my assistant or our assistant coaches that are now moved on to be successful head coaches. I look up to them and reach out to them when there's things that I need to find answers for, or just ask them to pick their brain. So just having a couple different networks, the NBA network and my Notre Dame family.
Well, and you know so many people, so that's probably not...
I'm a sponge. I'm always asking questions if that means I'm going to practices. I got a chance to go to the Boston Celtics practice this preseason and met Joe Mazzulla. He was really, really nice and have a great relationship with Brad Stevens. And so at any moment, if I can find a way to try to learn and grow and to get better, I try.
It's very, very evident. I would just sit here and keep asking you questions, but I know we have some out in the audience. So do you think we're ready for this? Yeah? We have
Matt McGraw has
Matt
one.
McGraw's in the house. So what he said, would you be comfortable telling your pound cake story on a recruiting trip?
Yes. So my mom is a really great cook, a great chef and baker, and she made Coach McGraw and Carol Owens a pound cake on their home visit, and they were like, "This was the best cake ever." And so my mom, remembered that, and so when I came on my visit, she made this pound cake and made me travel with it. So I got off the airplane with this pound cake, and Coach McGraw, they were laughing so hard. They're like, "You already have a scholarship. You don't need to bring a cake." But so it was really funny. So they always talk about my mom's pound cake because I was so mad at my mom for making me travel with that cake. But it was just cute because my mom wanted to surprise them with the cake.
Well, you're a good donor. You actually didn't do what maybe one of my children would have done and thrown it in the trash can in the airport because they didn't want to lug it all the way there, and you did it.
I know, I did the entire cake too.
Very impressed.
Yes.
We have another question over here.
Hey, Coach.
Hi.
It's amazing what you have been able to accomplish these last few years, considering the lack of bodies you've had in the postseason play. How will it feel to have possibly 9, 10 bodies to work with in those big games this year?
Yeah, I think it would be fantastic. It's something that, sometimes as coaches, those situations are out of your control. So hopefully, my biggest wish is to stay healthy. I think that's the biggest thing for me, for this team to go through the season and not to have not going any injuries, and for all our return to play kids that they can go through the season, a healthy season. But it changes everything when you have depth and you have bodies for you to be able to do a lot of different things and to try to dominate, for 40 minutes and just being smart about it. So it would be great if I can get that number up to 9 to 10 this year.
Got one right down in front. She's going to give you the mic.
How has NIL and the transfer portal changed college sports for you?
Yes, so NIL and the transfer portal has, to me, completely shifted the college landscape. My first year was COVID, so a shortened season, and the uncertainty of that year was hard. And then the second year, the transfer portal and NIL. So I think it's completely shifted the culture of athletics. Fortunately for me, I still stand on our values here at Notre Dame. So I think NIL's a piece of it, but I like to stress the importance of the things that I think it makes Notre Dame special, and try to identify those student athletes that see the bigger picture outside of money. But definitely, it's a big piece of recruiting. Sometimes I'm on the phone and there's a couple players that I don't even have a chance to talk to them. You have to talk to their agents. So it's definitely changed. You have to pivot. You have to adjust, because if you don't stay competitive in this space, you'll get left behind. So I try to still have that balance of staying true to your values and your virtues, but NIL is a big piece of it. And then the transfer portal, as a coach, it's almost like you have to re-recruit your own team. It's retention is a big piece of a big piece of college athletics, retaining your team, and then recruiting in the portal. So you try to retain your team and then try to bring in those pieces that can help you succeed. But it's a big shift.
How you doing?
Hi.
Thanks for being at Notre Dame, by the way.
Thanks for having me.
You have been in the NBA, and obviously you continue to go back to the NBA. What do you bring, or what do you get from the NBA that it applies and you can apply in your coaching?
Yes, I learned a lot when I was with the Grizzlies. That year, the head coach, that was his first year, so he was building culture. He was kind of redefining that organization. So I got a chance to see how to build a team, how to build culture, just seeing it from a different voice. I think being under Muffet and seeing the program at Notre Dame for so long, it was nice to see a different voice and a different philosophy. So I took a lot of things that culture-wise that I learned from that coach. His name is Taylor Jenkins. And then I learned a lot of player development. So a lot of different ways to do things, as far as just a different way to work out players. And then I learned a lot about different type of higher elite offensive schemes and defensive schemes. So because every year the NBA trends in different directions, if it's more ball screen offense or pace and things like that. So I learned a lot about seeing the game from a different perspective, and then seeing it at the highest level with, the NBA is the highest level in the world. So seeing it from that perspective really helped shape the way that I coach, and also like offensively, the way that I have tried to implement some things that I learned in the NBA. And I'm always studying NBA. I'm always studying the WNBA. I think knowledge is always readily shared. So a lot of things that you're going to see a lot of offensive plays run a lot of different teams in the NBA and the WNBA, and I'm the big proponent of sharing the information and finding things that I think could be successful with our team. I try to utilize the things that I've watched. But the NBA really showed me a different side. I feel like I was getting my doctorate that year because I learned so much. There's six assistant coaches, so you get a chance to learn from a lot of different coaches. And I took all of that knowledge and brought it here to Notre Dame.
Hi.
Hi.
You talked about it a little bit, and there's been a lot made of it in the football side. But when you're out trying to recruit high school players and transfer players, how limiting is it? Even though you can offer NIL and some of the other stuff and the culture here,
Yeah.
what about the academic standards? Is it still pretty limiting?
It is. That's a great point. It's very hard to get transfers into Notre Dame, to be honest, because our academic rigor is so high. So I think having grad transfers is a lot easier because they've already graduated and you don't have to look at their transcripts. But underclassmen, that's really hard to get student athletes into Notre Dame because a lot of times some of their classes their credits don't translate here. There's some universities that we found out recruiting that they don't have any in-person classes. And at Notre Dame, all of our classes are in person, so those classes and credits don't transfer here. And so I've had a couple of student athletes where they've lost over 80 credits, and so it's very limiting. It's very difficult, even as a high school's perspective, student athlete getting into Notre Dame or a student. And so imagine that window being even shorter for transfers. And there's a lot of universities that don't have to deal with that. But also it makes Notre Dame special, but it's definitely difficult.
Thank you, Coach, for being here. I just wanted to thank you. It was already shared by Duffy. You're such an incredibly empowering and inspiring female to young women and to fans like myself. So I'm just curious, what are some of the philosophies that you really think about when you're supporting your players and young women in their development, in their mind and their spirit, so that they're going out to be great leaders, much like I think what perhaps Muffet did for yourself?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I think building confidence. You talked about empowering, and Coach McGraw really empowered me. I mean, I've learned so much from her. I credit this position because of how much she believed in me and how much she poured into me as a student athlete, giving me the opportunity to go to the University of Notre Dame, and then also as an assistant coach, giving me my first opportunity to coach. Sometimes you just have to have that opportunity, and she gave that to me. So for me, it's about empowering our young athletes. It's about trying to instill confidence in them because I know that's something that's very hard in female athletes. And I know it was something that I dealt with. And so I try to share those experiences, knowing what really resonated with me, and I try to be that for them. So that mentor, they know that I'm a mom first. So there's sometimes I walk into practice and I'm like, all right, I'm turning my mom hat on, and I talk about things that they need to know or whatever the case may be. But I try to empower them, not just as their coach, but also as a mom. Because I feel like when I tell these parents, when you're dropping your daughter off, I'm going to prepare them for life. So sometimes it's not about just the basketball and the X's and O's. And that's either bringing in speakers, you talked about mind, health, mind, body, spirit. We have a meditation. I had a meditation speaker that spoke to them about, self-care, things that I think that can help them become stronger women. So I try to find all avenues that can help our student athletes. And every year just trying to help them as much as I can outside of, helping them be great basketball players. Because I think you have to have your overall mind, body, and spirit needs to be healthy, because this is very challenging. It's not easy being a student athlete in this climate. So trying to find ways to support them and empower them is what I try to live by.
How about one more question? One right here.
Coach, I wish you the very best of luck. I think you're doing a great job. I know your hands are tied about talking about injuries. But watching the Mercyhurst game, there was an awful lot of talent that was in street clothes. Can you give us any idea when some of those people might be back?
Yes, I know that. And I didn't like that they were in street clothes. But yeah, so we have, I think, some are day-to-day, so some were just soreness. just being cautious that day. So we hopefully should have at least 2 back. Liza, her timetable is in a couple more weeks. And then, KK's redshirting this year, and Kylie's coming back from an ACL. So those 2 we knew, KK and Kylie, were going to be out. But hopefully Liza will be back in a couple weeks, and Sony and Emma are headed back. So got some light in the end of the tunnel soon. Thank you.
So let's close and talk about the fans, right? The Notre Dame fans are so amazing at the women's basketball games. Yes. And so what is it you want to say to them? Because this is some of them.
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you. The last 2 home games when we hosted the NCAA home games, it was a sold-out arena. We had the student body, the most students that on campus that came to the game, and our fans, you guys showed up and showed out for us. Not just being there, but just being loud, the energy. It really electrifies our team. They love playing at home. They love playing in front of you guys. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know, again, my first year we had no fans, so that was hard. With COVID, you can only have your family members there. So to see the progression and the increase of our fan base has just been incredible. You've supported our program for the decades, and for me to be able to be here for me and my time here at Notre Dame, I'm really, really grateful and blessed, and really excited to continue showing you guys the level of talent that we have at this university.
So no matter where you live, if you live here, come to a game, out on the road.
Yes.
Even more important, right?
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
we need those fans out there. So we look forward to supporting.
We got a bus coming down to Miami.
Oh, perfect. You got a
Right.
bus coming to Miami, right off of South Beach. That's perfect.
You too can all
I might join you after the
schedule
game.
buses. Yeah. Great.
Thank you so much.
So let's give it up for Niele.